Welcome to the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Exam Preparation Guide. This video will cover the key concepts, focusing on understanding, not just memorization. The CLF-C02 exam covers 4 domains. Cloud concepts are 24%, security and compliance 30%, cloud technology and services 34%, and billing, pricing, and support 12%. We'll begin with domain-wide cloud concepts, which accounts for 24% of the exam. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet. Instead of buying physical servers, you rent them with a pay-as-you-go pricing model. To revise, cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet. It uses a pay-as-you-go utility model with no upfront infrastructure costs. There are 6 main advantages of the cloud. They include trading capital expense for variable expense, achieving economies of scale, and stopping capacity guesswork. Key benefits include trading capital expenditure for operational expenditure and realizing economies of scale. The cloud increases agility and enables global deployment in minutes. Deployment models include public cloud, where everything runs on the provider. Private cloud, or on-premises, uses your own data center. Hybrid is a mix of both, and multi-cloud uses 2 or more public providers. To summarize, the main deployment types are public cloud, such as AWS, private cloud for a single organization, hybrid cloud, a combination, and multi-cloud, utilizing multiple public providers. The AWS global infrastructure consists of regions, which are independent geographic areas, availability zones, which are fault-isolated data centers, and edge locations for content caching. AWS global infrastructure comprises regions, availability zones, which are fault-isolated data centers, and edge locations for content delivery via CloudFront. High availability means your system is always accessible, achieved by deploying across multiple availability zones. Agility is the ability to innovate and develop faster without waiting for hardware. Scalability is the ability to handle increased load, either vertically with a bigger server or horizontally with more servers. Elasticity is the automation of scaling, expanding, and shrinking to save money. Scalability focuses on handling increased load. Elasticity is the automatic scaling up or down of resources, which helps save costs. The AWS well-architected framework is based on 6 pillars: operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and the newest pillar, sustainability. Next, we move to Domain 2, Security and Compliance, which makes up 30% of the exam content. The shared responsibility model states that AWS is responsible for security of the cloud, including the infrastructure. The customer is responsible for security in the cloud, like configuring firewalls and managing user permissions. In the shared responsibility model, AWS is responsible for security of the cloud, and the customer is responsible for security in the cloud. This is a favorite exam topic. IAM is the front door to AWS, managing access with users, groups, roles for temporary permissions, and policies, which are JSON documents defining permissions. IAM basics involve managing access using users, groups for collections of permissions, temporary roles, and JSON-based policies to define allowed or denied actions. The root user has total power and must be protected with multi-factor authentication. The best practice is to create an IAM user with admin rights for daily tasks and never use the root user. Security best practices for MFA include always enabling it on the root user account and using a separate IAM administrative user for day-to-day work. Key security services include AWS Shield for DDoS protection and WAF for filtering web requests. Amazon Inspector scans for vulnerabilities, and GuardDuty is a threat detection service that monitors logs. For compliance, AWS Artifact is the central resource for compliance reports. Encryption services include AWS KMS for managed keys and Cloud HSM for dedicated hardware security modules for strict regulatory needs. We now move to Domain 3, Cloud Technology and Services, the largest domain at 34% of the exam. Compute services include Amazon EC2 for virtual servers with full OS control, AWS Lambda is a serverless option where you upload code and only pay for the execution time, with no server management. Core Compute Services are EC2, providing virtual servers, and Lambda, offering serverless compute where there is no server management for the user. Storage includes Amazon S3 for object storage, offering 11 nines of durability. EBS provides block storage for a single EC2 instance, while EFS is shared file storage that multiple EC2 instances can connect to. Storage services are S3 for object storage, EBS for block storage attached to a single EC2 instance, and EFS for shared file storage. For databases, RDS offers managed SQL databases, and Aurora is AWS's high-performance, cost-effective relational database. DynamoDB is a serverless NoSQL database, providing millisecond latency at any scale. The main database services are RDS for managed relational databases and DynamoDB for serverless NoSQL. Aurora is a high-performance, low-cost option. VPC creates a private slice of the AWS network, utilizing subnets for public and private segmentation. Internet Gateway connects the VPC to the internet. Route 53 is AWS's managed DNS service. Networking services include VPC for your private AWS network with public and private subnets, and Route 53 for DNS and health checks. CloudFront is AWS's Global Content Delivery Network, or CDN. It speeds up websites by caching content like images and videos in edge locations closer to the users, reducing latency. CloudFront is the global CDN that speeds up your website by caching content in edge locations worldwide. For large-scale data migration, the AWS Snow family provides physical devices to move petabytes of data. Options range from the Snow Cone to the massive snowmobile shipping container. The Snow family is used for large data transfers, moving petabytes of data when the internet connection is too slow. CloudWatch focuses on performance monitoring, tracking metrics like CPU usage and memory, and can trigger alarms based on thresholds. CloudTrail focuses on auditing, recording all API calls for security and compliance. We are now moving into Domain IV, billing, pricing, and support, which accounts for 12% of the exam. EC2 pricing models include on-demand, which is pay by the second and expensive. Spot instances offer large discounts, but can be reclaimed by AWS. Reserved instances and savings plans require a 1 or 3 year commitment for significant savings. Free tier, 12 months free. Some services are free for a year after sign-up. Always free. Some services never cost money. Cost management. AWS organizations, used to manage multiple AWS accounts, allows for consolidated billing, paying one bill for all accounts, and service control policies, SCPs, to restrict what sub-accounts can do. AWS Trusted Advisor, an automated tool that scans user account and provides a checklist of improvements in 5 categories: cost optimization, security, fault tolerance, performance, and service limits. Cost Explorer, a tool to visualize and forecast user spending over time. AWS Budgets, it lets users set custom budgets that alert them via email or SNS. Support plans, Basic, Free, Developer, $29 per mo, Business, $100 per mo, 24/7, Enterprise, $15,000 per mo. Final exam tips. Understand concepts, not commands. Focus on shared responsibility. Know core services and use cases. Before taking exam CLF-C02, review AWS white papers. Practice questions daily. Read exam questions carefully.